Good day, everyone. My name is Tiffany Maynard, and today I will be discussing with you what it's like to be raised in a typical Latin American home. I want to start off by saying that it's very rare today to see old customs and old heritages come into play. With the times changing around us very quickly, we see new customs, people are adapting to new ways of thinking, of new ways of acting. So it's very rare to see very old school traditions. People are trying to accommodate to the changing world, but they're losing touch with their roots. I was raised in a typical Latin American home. The girl learns very young and very quickly to provide for the home. The man provides for the family, but the woman provides for the home. You cook, you clean, you nourish. It's very, very different. Nowadays, women are very independent and they don't think that they need to stay home and cook and clean and take care of the children. They think, well, the man can do it too. And that's fine. But if you're sticking to your roots, the way I was raised and the way I plan to raise my children one day is old school Hispanic. One of the great factors about being Hispanic is that I am bilingual. I learned that when at a very young age. You become a master at translation. You realize that there's a whole other world with the language. Um, I learned English when I was 5 years old, and it kind of deterred me a little bit learning English, but come to think of it, looking back on it now, I have excelled being able to speak two languages, think in two languages, write in two languages, read. It's it's something that became a benefit to me. And if I wasn't raised in a Latin home with Hispanic parents and who kept to the tradition, I wouldn't have that today. Something else that I've noticed in many cultures, not just the Hispanic culture, is that old customs, they rely on the elderly. They respect them gratefully. The elderly is basically the core of your family. In old school Hispanic, we never turn our back to our elderly. Grandmas, great grandmas, great aunts, great uncles. They are the basis. They are what molded us. And if ever we needed something or if we had a question, they were the first person that we would turn to. And whenever they needed our help, we were always there. It's very rare that you see a Hispanic or an Asian in a assisted living. And I had this discussion with a friend of mine, and she said, "Well, I guess it's just a white people thing." It threw me for a loop because I don't consider myself just white or just Hispanic. I consider myself a white American Hispanic woman. I think that all of these things blended together is what really molded me. Now, my base is Hispanic. My base, I am a Latina woman. But I think that I was able to tie in the old with the new. And I think that everybody needs to learn where you came from. You need to learn to embrace your roots. You need to learn to the old customs because it's who you are. And whether or not you agree with some of the customs or some of the traditions, that's your choice. But to be able to know why we do the things that we do, it comes from somewhere. Mine stems from my Latin home, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. So just think about that a little bit. After you see this, maybe read up if you're Chinese or if you're Hispanic, if you're French. Try to find out where your ancestors came from. Try to find out what the customs were. Can they be repeated? And share it with others. I think you'd find some interest in it, and I think you'll enjoy it.